As cute as this little man's face is, that's not the subject of our topic tonight.
Are they so fuzzy?
He is
Like, we can do another review. We can review his face. I want to just squish it.
10 out of 10.
My enthusiasm is a 10.
Yes. I'm gonna tell you right now, though, the pocket ergos suck.
Yeah, he doesn't like that.
No, I'm sure he doesn't. You can put a stopwatch on that. Hold competitions.
Yep.
So yeah, before the break, we were getting into the fact that we got all our scores compiled. Handy dandy little chart like over there.
Joe's just giving away the like whole barn.
It's all
top
good
10
stuff,
is on screen like a crazy man.
Well, yeah,
wow.
we're going to talk about it. There's the bottom 10.
Yeah.
There's the middle 10. There's a whole bunch of 10s. Don't worry about it.
Okay, the other thing you got to keep in mind as well is that line number 1 is held up by the title screens in the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at the top 10,
I meant to.
When you're looking down the left side there and seeing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers going down, -1.
Yeah, I'm actually going to include a column that's just rank, and we're going to do it this way.
Okay, first of all, there's no way a Manix 2 should be at the top, and even you know that, Justin. You're
no
on
kidding.
track.
Yeah. Definitely. Your face is a fraud.
A Manix 2? Are you insane?
Yeah. Okay, so here's going to bring up the first thing. We might as well dive into it because we got 2 episodes, and I'm just going to dive. We need to figure out where some staple benchmark scores need to be for this. Because one of the things we're talking about is doing it on a yearly basis. Now, we got 52 knives, give or take, in a year. There's going to be a couple of weeks where we're doing gonzo stuff, but for the most part, even if you cut that short, 40 to 50 knives. So rather than adding and adding and adding, we're probably going to be doing a yearly thing. And we'll keep everything up for this year to let everyone know where it stands. But as of next year, we're probably going to be leaving some benchmarks in the category, right? So
yeah, like we will still have the spreadsheet all there and together, but Dennis is referencing the physical scoreboard that we're going to be adding to every week, sort of thing.
Yeah, and even the score sheet that we're bringing up online, like whatever, it's probably going to be the yearly one. We'll have backdraft lists of history stuff through our Patreon and whatever if people are requesting it, right? But yeah, so. But we were talking about it as well, and we were talking about a top 3 list, regardless of year. And I think we should keep that in mind, is regardless of year, you've got a top 3, top 5, top 10.
I was going to say, was it 2 or 5? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, the all-time sort of thing that will be permanent. And if something bumps it out, something bumps it out.
And you're gone forever. Yeah. And then I think we should also have some benchmark knives. Now, these might even be knives that we don't even have in the list. Yep. Things like a PM2. Yep. We've never done a PM2. We've got a PM3 on there, which is kind of a benchmark, but I don't know if the lightweight should be the thing that we benchmark it.
No, I don't think so.
Or a normal 940. I don't know if we've done a 940 or a variation of a 940, or we did a 945 recently, but I don't know. Again, like it's so...
But yeah, doing an aluminum S30 version of the 940 would be a good benchmark to weigh against.
A green plain Jane 940 that we can just leave up every year just to have staples to give people an idea of where we think the normal knives for everyday stand type of.
We did the Kershaw Blur, right? In M4?
The M4 one, yeah.
Did we do an M4 Blur?
I thought we did.
I'm not actually getting a result on this page, so
I think we might have just showed it off because we all just were like, "Hey, check this out." Well, they made a knife that they made forever. Yeah.
Then maybe we should do that review too and do a Blur, whether it's the M4 Blur or
something
a standard.
Yeah. And I'd like some input on where people think the normies should stand. Even a Sabenza. whether it's a 21 or a 31.
Yeah, people are opinionated about those 31s and 21s. Let me tell you,
People.
they're not people. They're cash cows. It's
Oh, throwing shade. Throwing
Well,
shade.
I
I mean,
mean,
he's
I
here.
wish
He's watching. Be
I-
nice.
I wish I wish I could afford to be one of them. Let's just put it that way.
But the list that's at hand, there's some
Indeed.
notable things.
Yeah,
We are getting an offer from Justin to borrow some PM2s. He has 2. I have 1.
we could
Fair.
make do. We could make do.
I think we've all handled a PM2 in our day.
True.
Once or twice. But I
Yeah.
appreciate the offer nonetheless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, yeah, I think PM2 stuff like the Delica, the Rat from Ontario, like just the stuff that everybody knows and uses as a reference point, probably good stuff to have on the scoreboard in a semi-permanent basis.
Something.
So, in response to your comment, Joe,
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry I don't have cool CRKTs like Joe.
Are you really that sorry? Because you shouldn't be. Let me tell you.
When your show-off knife is a Spyderco Phoenix, you know where we stand.
I love that knife, man. Fuck off.
Let's put that
Oh.
one on the score sheet, see how it stacks up.
Oh, no, I look. Yeah, what's that meme? Look how they've massacred my boy. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those.
Yes.
And speaking of
Oh.
how things stand up, let's go over some of the top few ones that we got going on our.
Yeah,
Great.
for sure.
Yeah,
Neat. We were asked, but again, by Francis. Who
exactly.
number 1 was.
Number 1, the reigning king. We might as well talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's a cool knife or anything.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
over there.
It's awesome.
Okay, I can't believe I'm gonna pass one up, but I'm pretty sure I haven't got one yet. And then the Appalachian Drifter came along, and I'm like, hey, maybe I need that more. So,
Fair enough.
It's got a
I
pocket
don't know.
clip on it, man. What's wrong with you?
yeah, because yours is oh so traditional as well.
What do you mean T6 Torx isn't traditional? Come on.
Carbon fiber bolsters and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Isn't
Yeah.
it pretty?
you
That's gorgeous.
swayed away from the purest traditional stuff long ago.
Well, because you know.
You might as well throw a double detent and a clip on it and call it a day.
No.
Quite honestly.
At least
I-
it's
I
only
agree
got
with
one half stop.
Yeah. We'll talk about the number 2 spot
Speak-
in a moment.
Speaking of, yeah,
Okay, so there's only
Before we jump over, I cut Paul off there. Sorry, what was that?
I forget.
oh,
Fair enough. Carry on, Joe.
I forget.
We're not off by a huge margin. It's like what is that? Oh man, it's like a half
I
point.
remembered.
So like 2.5 points difference between the Rustic Gent and the Wasp.
Mhm,
And
mhm, mhm.
Nigel was actually the low end for the Wasp, but I wonder where the average would have been had Paul actually been able to put in a score for it.
It probably would have been pretty high. I lament the fact that I missed out on that when it was through the shop.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, triple click.
Sounds like a ratchet.
It's like it's about to get into a Mexican knife fight right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
With a Bulgarian knife.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you could do
That's
up a score for it and we could edit in.
Yeah.
We would have to put a secondary after the fact because these are also okay, so here's the other thing. There's also initial review versus long-term review. And we've talked about that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Where people owned whatever, like the Bow River, we own the Smock, we own the Pleroma, we own some things, you know,
Yeah.
that would the scores change after a year or so? I'm pretty sure if you look back at it, we would have some scores that changed, right? So
Mhm.
More than likely.
I just have to quickly say, Mr. Fisk, Y'all got best tags and Civivis above Benchmade and Spartacos. I just can't deal with all this.
So we're here for to make you all uncomfortable.
That's a big part of it. Hey,
You have a QSP Penguin above a mini Super Freak. Just stop.
Okay, here's the thing, though. I'm on his side, the mini Super Freak. What did I actually score it?
An 80.
An 80. So not huge, but Joe kind of pissed it down a little bit. Nigel gave it a score. Yeah.
Not as bad.
I did way better for it than the Penguin.
Yeah, for sure.
I almost gave it an 80. A 78. It's a good score.
Okay, but on the other hand, a Penguin's $50. Jesus Christ, like a Canadian dollar. So like I'm pretty sure that's 17 Canadian or American dollars at this point. Like, yeah.
Keep in mind, this is 1 point difference on average. Like,
yeah, and a big part of why a lot of the lower end knives and stuff like that do score so high is what they offer for the price point and stuff like that.
Yeah, ultimately, at the end of the day, we're kind of beholden to that price point just a little bit. It factors in for a lot.
The idea, too, I think, was also to kind of... Otherwise, all the like really expensive knives would be at the very top of the list. So this gives a budget knife a fighting chance against something that is outweighing it by a couple $100 in like premium materials and stuff like that.
Okay, here's one that'll just probably make Fisk really twitch because he just picked one up in the recent acquisition. But look where the Spyderco smock is. Like, as far as an average goes.
Yeah.
21st.
21.
Yeah.
So
again, I gave that knife an 88. I'm on his side there.
Yeah,
that was probably one of the most hatery that I've done.
You gave a 0 to the personal ergos and like a 0 to the enthusiasm. You were so hatery, dude. Like, it was funny. That was the one that me and you fought about because you wanted to give the objectional ergos like a 3 or something like that. And I'm like, you're not allowed to do that because the rest of us actually enjoy the way. So you took like your 3 and your 3 and turned it to like a 6 and a 0 or something like that. And I'm like, cool, it's the same score that it was before. But you were like, does that happy? I'm like, yeah, actually that does make me a lot happier because anyway.
Keep in mind too, so what I've got here, that's the number in order from the beginning of the grading system that video landed on. So that was the 4th video we did. We were still learning the system too. Figuring out what we wanted to vote and where. So don't judge Nigel too harshly for hating the smock as much as he does.
No, I hate the smock.
So what you're saying is that score might be even lower were you to revisit it?
Okay, but the 3V bailout, like if we're talking about hate, we gotta. Paul knows what I'm talking about. I don't know if Joe knows what, but we all research these things, so we had to rewatch all of our reviews. The high point on the plastic-handled 3V bug out was a 4, and I don't think it was me. I think I gave it a 3, but
I think that's the only time I've given a 0.
You gave a 0 to enthusiasm because of the debacle with the heat treatment and it being like so low and 55 on a 3V with the plastic handle. And oh my God, we hated that knife so goddamn much that after, I don't know, 3 of us own the aluminum handled version now.
Yeah.
I guarantee we would go back and do that plastic handled version.
I don't know. I think that knife is dumb from the inception. I think the ones that you guys have now is really, really nice in execution and for what it is. But plastic.
The weird thing about it for me is the plastic handle version doesn't give me that fizzle. Like, it's been a couple weeks since I've carried this guy and I picked it up today and I got it in my hand and it was just like, oh yeah, that feels good. That feels real nice. I've never had that thought in my head with the plastic handled one.
I carried mine for 4 days this week. So just for the record, now I refer to mine as the better bailout. So
You may or may not have a bias. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I was gonna say Nigel actually put his up on screen tonight before we went live, and I immediately was like, "Oh, I need to carry that knife again. I haven't carried it in a couple weeks, and I miss how awesome it is."
That's how I feel about Dennis whenever he shows off his 804. It's the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, I've been carrying my 707. I need to carry that other ZT that I have.
That's what I carried for the 5th day, was the 0804 this week.
Good shit. Good shit.
And on Mr. Fisk's last comment here about Paul talking about it feeling like velvet, I'm going to back Paul up on this. It doesn't feel just like velvet. It feels velvety. There's this weird sort of like when you get frosted glass and it has like a very, very fine frosting. It has that like very smooth felt sort of feeling to it.
And I think if you use the term velveteen, don't use that term. But
only if there's a rabbit.
I was actually having a conversation with John at one point, and he mentioned it felt chalky, and I think chalky is another good way to describe it. It has kind of grip like chalk has.
I think a lot of Benchmade's aluminum stuff has that chalky feel to it, right?
Yep.
That's what you get with a heavy bead blast for sure.
Yeah, like the fixed bladed Nim Ravis that had the aluminum handles.
Yeah.
I had so many people not believe me that they were aluminum just because of the velvety feel of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Fisk says in chat, it's blanking metal. He bleeped himself, so I figured I'd follow up with it.
They're not blanked. They're 3D machined. No, it's sorry.
And I'm out.
That's
Or
what does it.
Joe.
All right. I'm not sad about that one.
You should scroll back up there, Joe. What else we got? 8015. Here's one.
Yeah, here's one.
Yeah, it just bit you twice. Joe ended up picking it up.
I sure did. It's an awesome knife.
That's the one I cut myself with.
Joe was.
I didn't even
have a
vote
score.
for.
Yeah.
One
of the things that got me, and
there it is.
we don't actually have it up because we can't see, was your enthusiasm on this knife, Paul, was like a 9 or something like that. And I was like, whoa, okay.
And then I cut myself with it. I really thought the lock on it was really cool. And then I cut myself really bad on it, and I kind of cooled off. And then Joe bought his, and I got jealous, and I was thinking about buying one myself. And then I cut myself with his again today.
Sucker.
And I'm out. I'm done. No more.
Lesson learned.
If they come out with an 80-20, I might try and play with one of those, but no more 80-15s.
Yeah, but it's going to be through this new GSR, so they're going to use 4116 or something for it.
Dennis, hey,
it'll
stop.
be
30-34?
Stop.
Yeah, 40-34. They've been playing that game a lot. Yeah, for sure.
Stop stepping on my hopes and dreams. Yeah.
But it's so much fun.
Thanks for that. Oh man. Yeah. So for those curious, anytime there's only 3 scores, like for the ranch boss here, if somebody wasn't present in that case, the average is just those 3 scores divided. Occasionally we had a guy, Morgan, who would join us, and his score will be shown in this column here. And that's taken from the 4 as well. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the rest of this is relatively self-explanatory. Are there some other things that really stand out as like, I'm surprised that got up so high or so low on the list for you guys?
I was going to say Francis actually mentioned the Hussar from Rook, Rake, Potato.
Ruwaiki.
Yes.
Sorry, Justin.
Okay.
Well, and the Bestech Heidi. I know Fisk
Yeah.
is calling out Bestech. That's one of the other ones. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure if you long term or asked us to re-review, I don't think we would score it that high a second time around. Hang on a second. I got it here somewhere.
Of course you do.
What is it worth?
Over there in that pile of knives.
I guess that's a drink, right?
Yeah.
This pile of knives over here? Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Damn it, stop it.
So, yes, Heidi Bestech. D2, honestly, it's not that cheap of a knife for what it is, even though they did throw a really cool, like, mosaic pin and cool Scarborough.
That's not going to show up, but I'll
Anyway.
see about a picture.
Were things like the QSP Penguin or the Rustic Gent even on your radar when we were looking at the Best Tech? I think that was before those even had been announced.
I
So
can't
that would
remember
influence it, you know what I mean?
that it was one of the first. I think I already knew about the Rustic Gent, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Penguin was a new one for 2020. It came out of the woodwork, and I think we were all kind of blown away by it. Except Nigel was just like, it's a square knife for $50. Good for it.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Lee awkward.
Terrible. Anyway, there's a picture of the Best Tech there. It's cute little mosaic pins.
And I'll tell Fisk the same thing I told Joe. Stop trying to control me and how much I drank. And, you know.
To be
You're
honest,
not my supervisor.
I think part of the reason why I might have scored that knife as high as I did is because if you compare it to other fixed blades, like, say, like, Bark River and stuff like that, mosaic pins and like some of those features can be really expensive.
Well, and you got to also compare to pocket-sized fixed blades or neck-knifeable fixed blades. Like, for what else is out there, it's kind of a nice piece.
And even the sheath itself is minimalistic. It works. Yeah. So
I would neck knife the hell out of that knife.
you need to remold the sheath a little bit because it's sketchy. But in the pocket, it's nice.
Nice in the pocket.
I would do it if I had to do it. Yeah, those are words.
They sure were. They sure were.
So we didn't do a normal proper. What variation? That had to be a carbon fiber. I think we did the proper carbon fibers together. The one that ends up being 29th, I guess.
I thought we did.
Proper? No, that's the 30th. Sorry, I did end up fixing the numbers. So the red number is the correct number now. Cool. For the rank.
Cool story, bro.
Boo. Boo.
Okay, so yes, I believe we did the Warncliffey and the clip point together, which kind of isn't fair, but deal with it.
Yes.
Eat shit, viewers. Like
you'll take the score and you'll like it.
I don't think the thickness behind the edge would have mattered as far as cutting ability, whether you told us it was a sheep's foot or whether it was a clip point. We probably would have scored that thing the same goddamn. Yeah. Maybe aesthetics, we would have scored one more than the other, for sure. So maybe that's a bias, but...
I think we split the difference on that, didn't we? Or tried to?
I think we did.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think we did try to take it at and we considered both when we were doing the ranking. So depending on your preference for clip point or sheep's foot, add or subtract a point or two, maybe. Yeah. I don't know if that one really needs to be redone. I mean, Benjamin discontinued a bunch of them, so what does that tell you?
So here's something for whatever the guys that are watching. What do they think it should be? Should it be a top 3? Should it be a top 5? Should it be a top 10? Regardless of year.
For the sake of the physical board that we're going to try to have behind me, I'm going to say either top 3 or top 5. I don't think I'll have room for top 10 to have it in frame and stuff like that.
I agree, and I think the top 10 is a Joe answer, and we should just, cut it off somewhere and go from there.
You like how he puts words in your mouth?
Hey, dude, You gotta remember.
No, I enjoy that.
You got to remember where my Berus is. So, like, for a knife that I am absolutely like madly in love with, I'm giving it the axe.
Yeah, at spot 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Only by quarter of a point, hey? Yeah.
I know. Tell me about it. That one hurt me a little bit on the inside. Anyway, Nigel, you can say.
Mr. Fisk is saying that we should use a smaller font. That's not going to work because we're going to do it Top Gear style, and I'm going to write the thingy out and smack it on, and you're going to have to be able to see it. So it's going to be how big it's going to be.
It's got to be a whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Now we may or may not be able to play around with the numbers and the names being slightly bigger than the actual like individual scores compared to the overall. We might be able to tweak that a little bit. But not your Top Gear behind you. That would just be on the score sheet that's up right now. Okay,
yeah, on the spreadsheet one. Yeah,
for the weekly talk about.
Yeah, this spreadsheet here is just to make it easier for us to keep track of what we're actually saying. So it's
yes.
Yeah. So random thing that I'm curious about, and I don't know if you'll be able to filter for it, Joe. Who or what was the total lowest personal score? Like not the lowest average score, but just who gave the lowest score.
Well, it has to be you with that 53, dude. I don't see the Smock with the 53 being lower, if I can remember correctly.
There's got to be a way to sort that.
I don't think I've ever given
50. Okay, so I can sort by a number of different columns, but not all together. So it would take a minute, but I could find out Dennis's lowest score, my lowest score, your lowest score, Paul's lowest score. I know.
Do it up, man.
Yeah. All right. So this will just take me a minute.
Yeah. Stop over explaining and just do it.
No. I'm just saying. No easy way to get all the answers at once. I'm going to start with you, Nigel, because I'm pretty sure you've given out the lowest scores. What is that? Column G. Descending.
Which knife is he taking and going home? Is he leaving the rest of his knives? Is he just taking one knife and going home? I want answers here.
I was going to ask that question.
So
he's not even unsubscribing. He's just going home.
Oh, he already started a new hashtag, which was defund the factor, defund the pokey. I don't know. It's not trending, so I can't remember what it was. So.
It's not trending, so it's not worthy of Dennis's attention, is what he's saying. I love that. As you can see, and I'm going to assume that Nigel has the lowest score here with a 52 given to the Spyderco Drunken. And to be fair, you guys didn't give that a particularly good score either.
No.
Nope.
It was a tough pill to swallow for the crazy amount of money that they wanted for that knife and the shitty clip that they put on it.
I gave 8 scores in the 50s.
Yeah, you did.
Wow. I'm going to bring that back here. Yeah. So the Drunken, for reference, ranked number 62 out of a possible 65. So Nigel wasn't wrong for hating on this thing, apparently. That being said, this was an evening where it wasn't all four of us. I wasn't there. Not that I think I would have given it. I don't think I would have given it above a 70. And that's even a bit of a stretch.
Okay, and I think one of the big things for me was I realized how much internal milling, and the wavy pattern on the milling, and I think I gave it a lot more for the machining aspect of it, because they went to town on that goddamn knife.
Yeah.
On the internals and even the wave pattern on the carbon fiber and the whatever, right? So...
the machining was nice.
But... Hey, I'll take my 10 viewers and go home. Wait, that's all of you guys. I can't do that. It's
we're trending more than you are.
Kidnapping.
Shots fired, Nigel. Shots fired. Nice.
So I was wrong. I did give out at least 150 to the Benchmed LA.
Okay, well, let's do you next, Paul. Let's find out what your lowest scores were. Because I'm curious at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, column H for Paul.
Also, Mr. Fisk, y'all ain't trending either. I mean,
thanks.
Words.
That's your fault, Fisk. It's not just your fault.
I thought we kind of
Who's
covered
not
that.
sharing?
Yeah.
Come on, like and subscribe and share, people.
No doubt, eh?
Yeah.
If
The
you're going to bug us
algorithm.
about, if you're going to harp on us about not trending, it's in your hands, guys. Come on.
Get our shit out there.
Yeah, this is your fault. How dare you?
Way to turn that around on our audience. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, that'll work out
That's
well
some
for us.
prime gaslighting right there.
So Paul, you're right. The Aller, whatever. That crappy knife. It ranked 61, by the way.
Crappy knife. Jesus Christ. Tell us how you really feel, Joe.
I gave it a 69, so I liked it more than you did.
By 1 point.
By 1 point. Anyway, and your most, and I didn't do this for Nigel. We can go back and check, but Paul's most. Oh yeah, because he wouldn't have been there for that. His most liked was the Rustic Gent, then the Hussar, then the Smock, then the Outlast. A couple of those you're still interested in buying, apparently.
Would your opinion of the Subvert have changed as far as the lowest score, Paul?
I think the biggest thing for me was what they were asking for it.
It's a steep price for that sumbitch.
Yeah,
It sure is.
but yeah, that knife is cool as shit, and I
Probably wouldn't
I would have
score at a
snatched it up the way
54
that you-
anymore. Yeah.
Am I hearing a cat? That's awesome.
Yeah, you hear a cat. Yeah. I think she wants out because I've got the one door closed.
I think it hurt my feelings because I wanted it, but I wasn't going to spend that money.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spyderco likes to do
So
that.
I lashed out in anger.
Well, you were the lowest score, but I mean, it's not like we were particularly.
Oh, she really doesn't want to be held. She wants me. Let up.
You know what?
2 seconds, guys.
All right.
Yep.
Alrighty. What was Joe's lowest score?
My lowest score. Curious. I don't even know. F.
You brought Mr. Fist back into chat with the cat.
Ah,
So there's-
the seismic.
We have ways to draw him back in.
It's because we trapped her between Erica's room and this room, and she couldn't get to her food, water, or litter box. So,
Yeah.
ta-da! We got a cat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stage 1 for drawing Mr. Fist back is the kitty. If that fails, stage 2 is Kirby.
He's asleep again. Maybe Kirby. I need to get. I actually want to get like a little Kirby camera, like a little wireless camera I can set up and just buzz him into the video feed every now and again.
That would be fun.
All right, Joe. So you got some hate. Hate.
I do. The seismic. Are you surprised that it's a CRKT though? I mean, I'm not all that surprised.
Okay, for me, I'm not even looking at. I'm looking at the second, the third. You really don't like Leatherman.
Dude, I've carried my
Where's the
rebar.
RKT?
I've carried my Leatherman rebar every single day since I bought it. I don't use it like for half a week at a time, but it is super useful. I love having it. But that K2 sucked, man.
You got 3 CRKTs in your top 10. Dude.
Oh yeah. Like if we look at my top 10 here, let's
but
see.
yes, the seismic. We all kind of laughed because it has got hard, like G10 molded, sharp finger choils,
Yeah.
and Nigel's like, "That's the one thing I like." Like it for some reason, it fit your hand really good, but
Yeah.
the sharp finger grooves were worse than the Contigo for everyone else that held that goddamn knife. Like,
Which knife are we talking about? The Duhawk?
No, the seismic.
Seismic.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was
Unfortunately, you were missing for that one, but it was the deadbolt with the 4116, like a 4-inch blade, kind of Persian-y almost.
Yeah, I remember the one.
Okay, so you didn't drop
the
a score
seismic.
here. You didn't drop a score here, but what did you think of the handles?
That knife was poo.
All right, good to hear.
I mean, it was like a 55 to 62.
Vindication!
It was a 55 to 62 type of poo. You
Yeah,
know,
like it wasn't
No.
like
like
it's
Oh.
better than any knife you're gonna buy in a gas station. It's a reliable knife. Like
Oh,
CRK
yeah.
doesn't make garbage. But I did.
they
I wasn't
wanted
a
a
fan of the
lot of money for that knife too.
Okay, so Sarah Katie has a habit of asking way too much goddamn money for knives that are just underutilizing materials. Like 4116 at a blade that chunky. I'm sorry. No, I'm not paying 100 and what was it? 100 and 115, 120 at the time or even more.
And that was
Was it-
American MSRP, I believe, was
Yeah.
120. Yeah.
Just
Was it the Clever Girl folder that was the deadbolt?
deadbolt.
That was like a
D2.
Black blade Persian-y.
Yeah, and that one they were selling for closer to 2, I want to say.
It
I
was
think I actually-
180-ish Canadian. I think
Yeah.
American, it was like 150 American MSRP.
Which is
Yeah.
a decent enough price, I guess, just considering the materials and the lock and all that. But as far as the knives we actually did review, yeah, I don't know. I hated that thing, and I'm kind of happy to see that it has the rank of 65th out of a possible 65. That's my lowest ranked knife.
It's satisfying to see a knife rank so low.
Yeah. It makes me feel better about what I've done. You know, it's.
So it was Dennis's low one.
I was gonna say, I'm curious where my hate train lied. I bet you it's on some lightweight stuff. Oh god, I hate lightweight stuff. And it's not that I hate lightweight stuff. Like I'm playing with the carbon fiber Osborne right now. Like, and I put a bug out clip on it because apparently it wasn't light enough. Like, so, but the PM3 lightweight, the Sage 5 lightweights, I know I didn't score them well because I have such a goddamn bias towards all that crap, right? So
Your lowest rank actually was also the seismic. Wow, a lot of those are the same.
for a 58, wow, I
Yeah.
love knives. Way too much. 58 is my lowest.
Shocker.
Jeez.
The guy on
wow.
the review channel about pocket knives actually likes pocket knives.
Like I scored the Boilermaker a 66.
You did.
Like it doesn't deserve that.
Oh,
I
mean,
gave
you're
the
right.
bailout 3V version a 0 for enthusiasm, and I still gave it a 69.
Yep.
So
So-
that's my argument for why I like the aluminum and M4 version so much.
And I scored the Yo Jumbo way lower than I should have too. 66? There's no way. I should have scored that knife fire. It's fun.
Okay, so we'll mark
And it's a
that
big
down.
slab. It's a big slab that you
Yo
can
Jumbo.
compression lock closed. Like it's
You Jumbo.
So. You're a you
But it's
Jumbo.
ugly as sin.
Good typo on that one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck?
What the hell knife is
Yeah.
that? As long as they come out with a me jumbo.
It's a jumbo for me.
And on that disappointment, I think we should head on break.
I think it is about actually time to go on break.
It is. I got it right this week.
Yes.
It is. Rather than 15 minutes earlier.
Our breaks are happening at the right time. We're starting the video with sound. What the hell?
On time. Scary, isn't it?
Doesn't make any sense.
Never happening
No.
again. Don't expect it.
So yeah, on that note, we are going to head off and go play with our Rook knife so we can sit back and not do any redubbing work, because no, that's not going to happen. And yeah, we shall return shortly. We will give everyone the chance to head on off, refill your glasses, empty out your bladders, and we shall return shortly. See you soon.
We don't need bigger knives.